Cormac McCarthy is one of the most revered and most feared writers in American fiction. His novels are dense, brutal, philosophical, and for many readers, a challenge to find where to begin. But there's one book that opened the door.
You rode here from Texas? Yes, sir. You and your friend? Yes, sir. Just the two of you? John Grady looked at the table. The paper cat stepped thin and slant among the shapes of cats thereon. He looked up again. Yes, sir, he said. Just me and him. The hacendado nodded and stubbed out his cigarette and pushed back his chair. Come, he said. I will show you some horses.
All the Pretty Horses. A novel that's poetic, profound, but also remarkably readable. Here's why it's not just a good starting point, it's the best way to understand McCarthy's work. Published in 1992, All the Pretty Horses marked a turning point in McCarthy's career. It won the National Book Award and the National Book Critics Circle Award, introducing his work to a broader audience after years of being critically admired but commercially obscure. The story is deceptively simple. John Grady Cole, a 16-year-old Texan, travels into Mexico after losing his family's ranch. He's chasing a dream that the American West is already in the process of abandoning. The book retains McCarthy's hallmark themes: violence, justice, nature, fate, but they're grounded in a clear plot and emotionally resonant character arc. Unlike the abstract chaos of Blood Meridian, this story has a shape, a heartbeat. McCarthy's prose is famously spare, almost biblical in rhythm. He avoids quotation marks. He rarely uses commas. This can feel alienating, but in All the Pretty Horses, it's more restrained. The sentences are lyrical but lucid, often blending dialogue with description in a way that flows.
He thought that in the beauty of the world were hid a secret. He thought that the world's heartbeat had some terrible cost, and that the world's pain and its beauty moved in a relationship of diverging equity, and that in this headlong deficit, the blood of multitudes might ultimately be exacted for the vision of a single flower.
You don't just read McCarthy, you hear him. His rhythm mimics thought and perception, which makes the story feel like memory. For new readers, this is the perfect place to acclimate to his style without being overwhelmed by it. It's no coincidence this book was his commercial breakthrough. It teaches you how to read him. On the surface, All the Pretty Horses feels like a classic Western. Horses, gunfights, dusty border towns. But McCarthy isn't mythologizing the West, he's deconstructing it. Scholar Sarah Spurgeon calls the book an elegy for a fading frontier, arguing that it reveals the violence and futility beneath the romance of cowboy independence. Unlike many Westerns, there's no triumph here. John Grady isn't a hero in the classic sense. He's a boy forced to confront moral grayness, in love, in violence, in justice. McCarthy's West is not a place of freedom, but of consequence. This is the kind of subtext that appears in his later works too, but here it's presented through a narrative arc that a first-time reader can hold on to. One of the most unexpected things about All the Pretty Horses, especially for readers who only know McCarthy from The Road or No Country for Old Men, is how emotionally rich it is. The love story between John Grady and Alejandra is tragic and doomed, but never melodramatic. It reflects what literary critic Harold Bloom described as McCarthy's tragic sense of life, the idea that beauty and loss are inseparable. There's also the quiet grief for a vanishing way of life, the American cowboy as a relic. When John Grady rides south, he's not just crossing a border, he's crossing an era. This emotional complexity gives new readers a point of access. You're not just reading for style or philosophy, you care, you feel, and that makes the novel linger long after it's over. Once you've finished All the Pretty Horses, McCarthy's other novels become more accessible. You've absorbed his cadence, you've seen his moral ambiguity, you felt the weight of his characters' choices. The Crossing deepens the themes of fate and solitude. The Road strips language to its bones. Blood Meridian descends into philosophical violence. But without this starting point, many readers get lost or shut down. All the Pretty Horses is the bridge between the world we know and the world McCarthy builds. All the Pretty Horses is not a compromise. It's not easy McCarthy. It's a masterwork in its own right, a novel of beauty, brutality, longing, and loss. But it speaks in a voice you can understand. And once you've heard it, you won't forget it. If you want to start reading one of the greatest writers of the last century, start here. Start with All the Pretty Horses.